Do you want more success, more growth, more results? Then it's time for the Boundless Success Accelerator from the Modern Observer Group. This isn't your average coaching program. It's where top performers come to dominate. Weekly group sessions, on-demand coaching, a community that's got your back, and a power-packed library of tools to supercharge your business and career. No more excuses, no more waiting. Get in, level up, and start building the life you've been dreaming about. Visit us at modernobserver.com/boundlesssuccess to join today. Let's get you to the next level. We're here because the news is being distorted. We're here because people are being inundated with misinformation on social media. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth. Obama linked to the Trump-Russia collusion hoax. $9 billion in DOGE savings taken back. The end of CBS's The Late Show, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. The Obama administration manufactured and politicized intelligence to create the narrative that Russia was attempting to influence the 2016 presidential election, despite information from the intelligence community stating otherwise. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard on Friday declassified documents revealing overwhelming evidence that demonstrates how, after President Donald Trump won the 2016 election against Hillary Clinton, then President Barack Obama, his national security team, and then Vice President Joe Biden laid the groundwork for what would be the years-long Trump-Russia collusion probe. Documents revealed that in the months leading up to the November 2016 election, the intelligence community consistently assessed that Russia was probably not trying to influence the election by using cyber means. One instance was on December 7th, 2016, weeks after the election. Then Director of National Intelligence James Clapper's talking points stated foreign adversaries did not use cyber attacks on election infrastructure to alter the U.S. presidential election outcome. Gabbard stated that former President Barack Obama's goal with the Russia collusion narrative was to subvert the American people's will in the 2016 presidential election. Documents also indicate that then FBI Director James Comey pushed back on early assessments and contributed to delays in publishing the information that there was no Russia collusion. Moscow temporarily shut down all 4 of its international airports this weekend in response to a sustained drone attack from Ukraine, with Russian officials saying they downed more than 230 drones. The attack came as Ukrainian President Zelensky proposed further peace talks with Russia, and Russian President Putin spoke with Turkish officials about hosting a third round of negotiations in Istanbul. Meanwhile, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov insisted Sunday that Russia would continue working to achieve its goals in Ukraine, despite threats from President Trump to increase sanctions if no ceasefire is reached within 50 days. Russia also performed airstrikes in Ukraine over the weekend, killing at least 2, and the nations exchanged major drone attacks, which experts predict will continue to escalate. The GOP-controlled Congress canceled $9 billion in federal spending for foreign aid and public broadcasting, following through on President Trump's efforts to defund the programs and overcoming some resistance among Republican lawmakers. The House passed the Trump administration's plan 216 to 213 early Friday. 2 Republicans voted no with the Democrats, Representatives Brian Fitzpatrick of Pennsylvania and Mike Turner of Ohio. The Senate had passed it in the early hours of Thursday morning, 51 to 48, also largely along party lines, with Republicans Senators Susan Collins of Maine and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska joining Democrats in opposition. Both chambers acted before a Friday deadline, after which the executive branch would have had to release the funding. The final vote was delayed for several hours Thursday night as Democrats in the House Rules Committee failed to advance an amendment that would require Attorney General Pam Bondi to release records related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein within 30 days. The passage of the rescissions package again showed off Trump's ability to muscle legislation through the narrow GOP majorities in Congress and pressure holdout Republican lawmakers to get in line. The cuts are the first time a White House has accomplished clawbacks in more than a quarter century, and White House officials made clear that they would pursue additional reductions. The U.S. Congress has also passed its first major national cryptocurrency legislation, a historic move for the industry. The bill, known as the Genius Act, establishes a regulatory framework for stablecoins, cryptocurrencies backed by reliable assets like the U.S. dollar. The Genius Act is one of 3 crypto-related bills supported by Trump. The legislation aims to provide clear guidelines for the expanding industry, ensuring that the U.S. keeps up with payment system advancements. It mandates that stablecoins be backed 1-for-1 with U.S. dollars or other low-risk assets, a move seen as an effort to bring digital currency into the mainstream. CBS will cancel The Late Show with Stephen Colbert in 2026, the network announced Thursday, insisting it's a financial decision and has nothing to do with a looming ownership change. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert will end its historic run in May 2026 at the end of the broadcast season, CBS said in a statement. We consider Stephen Colbert irreplaceable and will retire the Late Show franchise at that time. We are proud that Stephen called CBS home. He and the broadcast will be remembered in the pantheon of greats that graced late-night television. CBS said it was purely a financial decision against a challenging backdrop in late night, adding it is not related in any way to the show's performance, content, or other matters happening at Paramount. The statement came from Paramount co-CEO and CBS president and CEO George Cheeks, CBS Entertainment head Amy Reisenbach, and CBS Studios president David Staff. Ratings of The Late Show have been dismal, losing its time slot routinely to Gutfeld on Fox News, with Colbert's leftist rants turning him into a laughingstock. Prior to his anti-Trump tirades starting in 2016, Colbert was on the verge of being fired, indicating that rather than politics being the reason for his dismissal, it was the only reason he was still on the air. According to reports from CNN, The Late Show was losing $40 million a year for CBS. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcasts app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.